I'll read something first, and then I'll read some other stuff. This is from a foreword to a book by cultural critic Neil Postman, Amusing Ourselves to Death. And he's talking about Aldous Huxley's Brave New World and George Orwell's 1984. He says, contrary to common belief, even among the educated, Huxley and Orwell did not prophesy the same thing. Orwell warns that we will be overcome by externally imposed oppression, but in Huxley's vision, no big brother is required to deprive people of their autonomy, maturity, and history. As he saw it, Huxley, people will come to love their oppression, to adore the technologies that underdo their capacities to think. What Orwell feared were those who would ban books. What Huxley feared was that there would be no reason to ban a book, for there would be no one who wanted to read one. Huxley feared those who would deprive us of information. Orwell feared those who would deprive us of information by book banning, I guess. Huxley feared those who would give us so much that we would be reduced to passivity and egoism. Orwell feared that the truth will be concealed from us. Huxley feared that the truth will be drowned in a sea of irrelevance. So that's what our role is as librarians, is to try to help you wade through this school of irrelevance and of too much information to try to glean what's important. I'm also a librarian who actually writes and edits books that have been banned. I edited this book back in 1981, before most of you were born, and it's called The Age Taboo. And it was actually, I don't know if it's actually banned, but it was on the Mies Commission pornography, one of the slideshows that they showed, an FBI agent showed at a slideshow in Miami. And as you can see, there's no pictures in this book, but they thought it was pornographic. And I'll read you a section from it. It's an interview by Sylvia Lottinger, who's the editor of Semiotext, important cultural studies theory, cultural theory publication. And he's interviewing Mark Moffat, who is 15. He asks him, how long have you been involved in these sexual encounters? Since I was 13. That was 2 years ago. Yes, says Moffat. Sylvia Lottinger says, how did it all start? One day I was doing the laundry, and there was an ad on the bulletin board for a gay dance, and it said, for further information, call Frank. So I memorized his number and called him up, and I asked him if he was gay, and he said yes. And I said, do you want to have sex? Mark said. And Lottinger says, had you have sex before? Moffat, before that, I had sexual explorations with friends my own age, but I didn't consider that I lost my virginity then. When I had sex with that man was really first having sex. What if he hadn't been gay? I would have hung up. You're not interested in straight men. I'm interested in whomever I'm attracted to. Mainly they're gay. I find some straight men attractive, but they wouldn't want to have sex with me. At least I doubt it. So the men I do have sex with are gay. Do you consider yourself gay? Yes. Lottinger, boys have to be gay to be interested in men? Moffat, I'm sure lots of them term themselves bi, or just don't term themselves anything. Would most boys use your direct approach to men? I don't think so. Boys I know have a lot of sexual hang-ups. They're embarrassed to talk about it. They wouldn't approach a man directly. I don't know why I did it myself. Maybe I was just desperate. You can be desperate for sex at 13? Yes. Oh, yes. So, and he says, few people would believe that. Lottinger says, Moffat, it seems that adults or parents always keep this discovery of sex from their children. I don't know where it originated. Did you feel you were prevented from discovering sex? No, we never discussed sex at home. So I was impartial, is that the word, to the whole idea of sex, really. I didn't think it was bad to talk about it because it was never talked about at home. There isn't just home, there's also schools, says Lottinger. We had sex education. How old were you when you had sex education? Not until 12. Was it a good thing to have? That late? but it was a good thing to have anyway. It was the basic stuff, like parts, the organs of the body, how they operate. They should have gone into more details. Did you learn anything? I learned about heterosexual sex, of course, not about homosexual sex. So I think this issue of age of consent is worth talking about or discussing, because it is really ideas that are censored, not books that are banned. It's ideas in these books that are banned. That's what the important part. And with Sarah Palin having a teenage daughter who's having a relationship with another teenager, even though it is above the age of consent in Alaska. I think it's 16 in Alaska, or 17 or something. It's worth talking about this whole issue, because a lot of teenage pregnancies happen with teenagers, right? A lot of pregnancies. So by banning this discussion, I think we are really trying to sweep it under the carpet. Thank you.